Hi, I'm Tim Carter, AskTheBuilder.com, and we're going to talk about a little problem that a good friend of mine, who's a structural engineer, pointed out to me. He watched one of my videos and emailed me and said, "Hey Tim, could be a big problem." Remember, this is not my job. I'm not building this house. And if you discover something new, which I think you're going to discover in this video, you might want to consider clicking that thanks text link that is underneath the video. Every single dollar that I raise, I plow back into the channel to make more videos for you faster. Here's the problem. See this foundation wall? And see right here where it jumps up? And I'm talking about right there. In other words, it's the same wall, but here it's about 9.5 feet tall. Here it's only about 4.5 feet tall. Guess what? Understand that really all of this too. So this wall here, this is a retaining wall. These are all retaining walls. And what do I mean by that? Well, check it out. Look at this. Take a look around the corner. That foundation wall is retaining all of that earth. And that earth, believe it or not, it's pushing this way. And it wants to tip this wall over. I'm sure you've seen retaining walls that have tipped over before. Well, here's the problem. When they build the frame wall on top of here that will match the height up here of this foundation wall up here, this connection point between this foundation wall and the wall above, this along here, becomes a hinge point. It's no different than a hinge in your door or a cabinet, so that this part of the wall can tilt in with any pressure from the outside. Now, that doesn't happen up here, and here's why. Because when you put the subfloor on up here, the plywood and the OSB that's nailed, that prevents this wall from tipping in, because the other wall over here behind me is pushing back towards it. In other words, that's why the subfloors, they basically act the same way as the concrete floor down here, which prevents the bottom of the wall from kicking in, all right? But that doesn't happen here. This is a hinge point, all right? So this concrete wall is going to want to tip in, and the frame wall here is going to want to kick in as well. All right, let's look back outside and I'll explain it. Realize that this house is being built in New Hampshire, all right? This ground here is going to freeze. And have you heard of frost heave before? Of course you have. Well, it's not only does the ground expand upwards, the ground expands left and right. All right, so as this ground freezes, it's going to be exerting pressure against this wall. It's going to exert all kinds of pressure, and it's going to want to tip this wall over. All right, so how could this have been prevented? Well, this wall could have been designed as a retaining wall, but it was not. I can already tell you, based on all the earlier videos of how this wall was built, the footer was inadequate. It was not a wide footer. There could have been buttresses, like a counterfort wall, that prevented this wall from tipping over. There's all kinds of things that could have been done, but it was not done on this job. Do you understand how severe that could be, that problem? It might not happen. These homeowners may dodge the bullet, okay? But what's your takeaway from this video? Your takeaway should be that it's probably a good idea, if you have a half wall like that, if that's on your plans and you've got earth behind it, you better get a structural engineer involved, all right? Don't necessarily trust the builder. If it's just a regular full house foundation wall, you don't need to really worry about it. But these half walls, they can be big, big problems down the road. It could have been a full wall too. Get this. That wall could have been poured, a full height wall like the wall behind me, and all they had to do was put a step in the wall, or just a little bit of a recess if they wanted to cover it with brick, or a little bit of a recess if they wanted to put treated furring strips on to be able to cover the foundation wall with siding so that the wall doesn't look so bad. All right, that's the biggest reason why they put these lower walls in, because they don't want so much concrete on the outside exposed. So there's all kinds of ways to deal with the problem. All right, but get a structural engineer involved. And let me tell you, it's worth every single penny, and you won't have any sleepless nights. All right, remember, I do phone coaching. If that'll help you out any, I can help you out on the phone. Make sure you don't make any mistakes on your job. The link to that is in the video description. And if you discovered anything new, please consider clicking the thanks text link underneath the video. Make a small donation. I plow all that revenue back into the channel to make more videos for you faster. I'm Tim Carter, AskTheBuilder.com. If you want to discover more home improvement tips, go to AskTheBuilder.com.